Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 366, the first episode of 2022. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
Brett Murdoch,
What up, everybody?
and Brian Manjoma.
People also answer your cat questions.
Yes, yeah. So you should have thrown us cat questions for the last episode. Amen. We will answer questions. Off air and on air. That's what we do around here. So yes, the question show is back for another 50 episodes. Man, it's gonna be a wild ride. And as you can see, some of us have a little bit of an upgrade. I got new lightings going on my end. Manny looks a little bit sharper there. We would have had Chris on camera. He actually has his computer. They finally got it back to him. They sold him a lemon. Can you believe that shit? They sold him a lemon.
I can. Yeah, if you have a lot of PC part companies, like it's a handoff, man. Customer service is awful. Shipping takes forever. Sometimes you'll get a computer and it won't necessarily be put together correctly. But for some fucking reason, you can get PC parts available and cheaper often than you could buy them if you bought just the part. I don't know how it's possible. Some kind of deals, I'm assuming, in the supply, but still, I actually had to buy a computer from iBuyPC, and I got it, and I had to reseat the motherboard before it would work, but I got it for cheaper than its components.
Isn't that the problem Chris had? Like, his motherboard was dead. It's like, if you guys would have turned the computer on, you would have noticed that before you shipped it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like a fundamental issue, and then you have to they argue with you about you having to pay like $200 to ship it back. It's a big fucking hassle. So it's one of those, like, you kind of judge it in terms of, like, it's really cheap PC, and I can actually get the components I want here, but I'm in for an infinite amount of headache.
Here's the interesting thing. Don't they install the operating system into the PC?
Yeah, they do. So. Yeah.
Then how did
the fuck did they start it?
I honestly think they just put it together and shipped it. I don't even think they test. If they would have tested it, they would have seen that instantly. But
I'm guessing that they had. Yeah, I'm guessing that they had like a separate computer where they use that to install Windows on the drive, and then they just put it on, and then they take the drive out and put on something else.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay,
that could be it.
Yeah, but isn't that insane, man?
But still, like, just turn on the PC just to check.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. Check,
That's a whole job. There should be just a guy quality checking, turning PCs on, being like, "Yep, seems to work," or "Nope, this is leaking mineral oil."
Yeah,
it literally takes a minute.
Yeah, or unless we've got a good SSD, Oh man, and then meanwhile, because he got it from NZXT like I did, my shit's been running fine. So I guess they turned my shit on just to make sure. I've been running it through its paces, but I can't talk about which game I used until later this week. All right, man. So let's get into it. So we are back. Oh, by the way, before we start, a little bit of a down note, but we got to do it. I got to give this man a shout out because he was in so many of our childhoods, and he unfortunately passed away. Mr. Bob Saget passed away, 65 years old, man. We don't know the cause of death at the moment. The coroner said it doesn't look like drugs or foul play, but yeah, man, that's sad because again, that guy was like, was a Full House, America's Funniest Home Videos, and then later on, when you find out the real stuff with Bob Saget, how raunchy this guy was as a comedian, how good he was, it's like, damn. And he was still doing his thing. Like, his last tweet was like less than 24 hours ago. He was getting hyped for a show that he was getting ready to do,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Literally when I was born into Full House.
Yeah.
And that's what I watched when I was a kid. And Tony tweeted it out, and it's like, yeah, America's best home videos is funniest home videos is literally like YouTube before YouTube.
It's YouTube before YouTube, exactly. So yeah, I just had to give him a little bit of respect there because again, we all knew the guy, we all liked the guy. He was part of our lives, man. It's crazy, generations and stuff. So shout out to Bob Saget, And with that, we're gonna get into some questions. The first one. This one is based on some controversy that happened on Twitter today.
Oh, really? What's this controversy?
Okay, so Techland, right, the people behind Dying Light 2, they tweeted out that the game is going to have 500 hours of content for completionists, right? Obviously, people went fucking crazy, you know? People on both sides of the fence and all that. Now, my initial take was like, okay, great. I'm not playing this fucking game. That's my friend. I'm not fucking doing this, right? But, you know, they had to come out and explain themselves and basically, hold on, I'm doing this all wrong. First episode of the year, I'm fucking it up already, man. I'm fucking it up. All right.
We're doing it live.
Yeah. The first question is from Assyrian Air Force. He goes, "Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Hope you all had a great New Year's. Thank you, sir."
There we go. You too, man. Appreciate it.
You know, so actually, I was actually okay. I had to explain the situation, to us, go to this question. But yeah, so that's what happened. There was two sides of it, and then Techland had to come out and go like, "Oh no. We meant that if you take all the different playthroughs and all the and doing all the side content, then it'll be $500. The actual game is 70 to 80 hours." I'm like, for a zombie shooting game, that still sounds excessive, but at least that's reasonable, you know? But anyway, so his question is, and we'll jump on it, and then Brett, you could give your take. Do you prefer a 500-hour game with a ton of content, or do you prefer a well-made 12 to 16-hour game with a solid story and replayability? I think you know my answer. know my answer. I do not put a dollar value, because there's some people, and it's fine, that they go, I paid $60, $70, I need X amount of hours. That's fine. I'm not like that. I'm like, did I get a good experience from the money I paid? That's what I care about. So there's two different camps here. But Brett, before we started, you said that I was looking at this the wrong way. So what do you say?
I mean, I think you are. Like, here's my opinion. Completionist games have gotten a little fucking out of hand. I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is an example of like, okay, we have jumped the shark on this one.
Yeah, Brett, I need to just stop you real quick. This game would be 5 times bigger than that.
I know. Like, it's insane. You can't make a game like this a service without actually saying that you're going to make it a service, because it changes people's perception. So I would advise Tony you to think of it this way, because obviously there's going to be a linear path through the game that is probably maybe 35, 40 hours on a long haul. And you're gonna. I think you need to learn to put your blinders on. And I know that you've done it. I've seen it in Monster Hunter, and I think that that's how you should consider this game. I'm sure there's a ton of objectives and a ton of things you can complete, but at a certain point you just go, fuck it, I'm gonna do this part. And I think having us as a crew and kind of playing multiplayer will help with that. But just think of it as a multiplayer game with a shitload of content. You don't need to collect it all. Even as a completionist, it's absurd in this sense.
Yeah. Again, here, and I'm glad you brought up Monster Hunter, because I did tweet Monster Hunter is probably the game I put the most hours into. It's like 283 hours, but I was over the course of, that's still not 500, by the way. That's over the course of 4 years with new content, and I was streaming with you guys, right? So that obviously bumped it up, right? This is 500 hours on day one. Like, you can understand how, as a completionist, that sounds really fucking daunting. You know, like Monster Hunter at launch was not nearly that long. You know that stretch. Well, I mean, if you talk about it in the sense of how long would it have taken you to beat the game with every single weapon and do all of the content, and I think that's what they're doing. I think they're doing, like, okay, like for example, let's just say, this is just me speculating right now. If there are 5 different endings to this game, right, and each playthrough takes you 100 hours, then I could understand that. And I think that's what they're probably doing, you know, but I think it may have backfired on them, you know?
See, I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be that grandiose even. It's going to be, okay, so you know in Monster Hunter, when you go like the little biology quests that tell you to go out and kill 5 lizards or whatever the fuck it is, and there's a list of like 900 of the fucking things. I think it's going to be like that. And they're like, each one of these is an hour. So here's 900 hours of content. You're like, okay, but nobody's going to fucking do this dinky little side quest, because it's essentially just bring me X amount of this. And it sounds like bad marketing. That's what it sounds like. I think they should have worded it differently, because a lot of people were like, hold on, 500 hours to play this whole fucking game? No. You know, there's no way, son. No way, son. I mean, and that's if you feel the need to pull out every single, touch every single piece of content in the game. Yeah. And I think I think a lot of it, even for a completionist, I've seen people like Monster, like you have not tried to complete every piece of content in Monster Hunter. You're just not going to try. You're just going to look at it like, no, I'm good. No, I'll do a
Unless
couple.
Your name is Brian.
Yeah.
I was just about to say.
I bet you that Brian hasn't even if you look at it the way these people are, Brian probably still hasn't completed all the content in Monster Hunter because there were some things that he could have done that weren't necessary for the platinum.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, Brian, publicly shout out to you, man. Getting the platinum in, that is fucking an achievement right there, dude. Holy shit.
You have no idea how dead I am inside afterwards.
As dead as I'm going to feel after playing Dying Light 2 for 500 hours.
All I want to say is, like, you know how like we all love the soundtrack of Monster Hunter and it's great?
Yeah.
Imagine having to listen to the same song for hours on end with no variation. It'll kill you. Like I'm now at the point where I'm now just okay with the No Gigante soundtrack. I used to love it like last year, but now I'm just like, okay, you can just calm down a bit because I'm just tired of it. Because
no, Brian, why don't you cut out the music in the menu and then just play something of your own?
Oh, I did. I ended up listening to Joe Rogan's podcast because I got that tired of it.
Joe Rogan, you crazy.
Like, I think towards the end, I end up fighting and defeating No Gigante at least 50 times in a row.
In a row.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Because I was after the small crown for so long and it just would not pop. And then I ran out of investigations. I had to farm to get more, and then to farm again. It's like, it just was killing me. But at least now, I'm now incredibly good at fighting him because I know pretty much all his moves.
Yeah. But you see right there, and I'm glad you brought this up because that's the problem. When you have a game that's that long, you're gonna be like, I hate this. I want out. But if you're a completionist, you're kind of stuck there. You know, so. I think, you know, that those type of people that have that predilection like me, they're looking at it like, oh, fuck. You know, but thankfully I have the good, you know, the wherewithal to be like, I'll just skip it. Fuck it. You know? But I think, Brett, you're probably right. The game is probably really like 30, 40 hours with a campaign, maybe another extra 20 hours with side shit. I think they're just literally going for every variable that this game has and just putting it into the playtime and going, it's 500 hours, but obviously kind of backfired on them.
That's what most video game companies do. Like, I mean, this isn't anything new. I mean, when people started complaining about game length, that's when they always would start saying, well, the campaign is actually this, and if you play all the different things together, you get over 50,000 hours of play.
Yeah.
You know, to quell any of the people going, man, I don't want to play this game. It's not long enough, even though we mostly don't finish this shit.
Yeah. You know, I should also bring up the fact that like different games, like they have a different expectation of how long they should be, right? Like a JRPG 100 hours, you're like, yeah, that sounds about right. But like a FPS type of game, like 100 hours, are you fucking crazy? You know? So, yeah, if this game is as long as the original Dying Light, fine, that's fantastic, you know. But 500 hours, yeah.
I suspect it's about as long as the original Dying Light, just filled out with a bunch of side quests and bullshit.
Yeah, but at the same time, this game may have all that content because this game's been worked on forever, you know.
I mean, it also has that crazy base building shit that they supposedly had, or did they drop that? I don't remember.
I don't remember if it does or not.
I remember they were saying, at least in the original, you know, talking about this game years ago, they're like, yeah, you could literally, you know, build your own town.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, does anybody else want to jump in with this? Carlos, what's your take?
The first thing that came to mind is just thinking of all the games that I probably put 500 hours into. I could probably count them on my hand.
Yeah.
So thinking of a random game like Dying Light, something that I'm not particularly looking forward to, it's like I don't know who this is for. More power to them, but if it's at the risk of, you know, sacrificing the quality of the mainline game that most people will play, then it's gonna affect it in a negative way. But I feel like Assassin's Creed is going through a fatigue.
Oh yeah, it's too
and
much.
a lot of the fan base is really fatigued with that game, even though they still support it, but not to the extent that they used to. But yeah, I don't know. Dying Light, that doesn't seem like a 500-hour game to me, unless like the super hardcore people that play multiplayer all the time. But yeah,
I've never heard of a game being like sold as that. Have you? A 500-hour game. Like, am I tripping? Like, has this ever been any game ever advertised like that?
I don't know. I mean, they've always,
whenever with MMOs, they don't say shit like that.
RPGs, they always used to do that. They always used to tout the game length because of because they're known as, RPGs in general are known as long games.
But this is an RPG, so it's just very curious.
Well, I mean, yeah, they have done the sort of over 500 hours of not 500 hours of content, but over 100 hours of content.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about like that very specific number.
There are those thresholds. There's the over 20 hours. That's one of the popular ones, and then there's over 100 hours, usually reserved for JRPGs and those types of games.
Yeah, you've heard those type of ads for sure. But 500.
But 500 is definitely not something that I've ever heard. And I mean, is anybody looking forward to playing this game?
I was until this, because I had fun with Brett and Chris playing the original one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, bro. But here's the thing: I'll just wait till some people review it and see what's up. Thankfully, I could pick and choose what I want now to review, so that's good. But yeah, it brought up some interesting. I should say this though: I was very surprised by the lack of toxicity in my comments today, man. I said my piece, but people were, some people got riled up, obviously, but it was actually okay. I was very surprised by that. It was like, hey,
it's Dying Light 2.
Yeah, Dying Light 2. Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe that's why.
It's not a Sony Sony first party game or a Microsoft first party game or a Nintendo first party game.
No, dude, hold on, you fucked me up right now because you're right. Let's just say, for example, if I had said the exact same things I said, but you put Horizon Forbidden West in there, you already know the reaction, bro. You already know. So
it's just there's people like to argue, because you can only argue just as like much for a game like Dying Light 2, but when people want to argue for, let's say, Horizon or God of War, then it'll inevitably go to the whole fanboy war kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
you're right. There's no fanboyism here because that game's on everything. So yeah, all right. Dying interest sent to make it.
And it's not even like one of those games like Call of Duty, which is one of the big ones, or GTA. It's not even nowhere near those levels. So yeah,
and you're right. That's one of the things people said in my comments, like, I'll wait. They you're right. The enthusiasm is not really there for it. That's probably why people weren't like fucking going insane in the comments.
But then also at the same time, like again, I guess goes back to what Carlos said. Like there are games that Carlos has put in 500 hours into, but then how many of them have you done all the content for? Like, I'm pretty sure, again, I can say for myself that I don't think there's one game I've done all the content or seen all the content for at all. Even though that games... No, not even... Well, that's like one of those ever-changing games, so there's no way to catch up.
That's true.
Maybe God of War 3, because technically to get the platinum you need to do everything.
Yeah.
But again, most games I don't see all the content for. Again, go back to Monster Hunter World. Again, I put in 600 hours, done the expansion, got the platinum, but even I know that I've not done all the content. Like there are arena quests I've not done, there are event quests I've not done, and I know that, so I've not even seen 100% of that content.
Yeah,
I
mean, I've done it for the first 3 Halo games, but they're not the biggest types of games.
So again, I seen the tweets and I was like, okay, to fully again, I'm reading the tweets verbatim. To fully complete Dying Light 2 Stay Human, you'll need at least 500 hours. almost as long as it would take to walk from Warsaw to Madrid. So I seen that and I thought, okay, so to fully complete it, 500 hours, fair enough. So in my head, I had, okay, that's all the quests, all the side quests, all the collectibles, all the multiple endings and whatnot it has. Fair enough, 500 hours. That sounds incredibly healthy, which is fine, because one of the other complaints that we have is that these companies will add DLC that's already been there since day one, or they'll cut out content from the game and feed you to it, or feed you it as DLC later on. To me, it just seems like Techlight have just said, okay, let's just try and give you everything day one. So when Tony said, oh, that's 500 hours day one, it's like, yeah, this is what we would like them to do, like not take out content and give us it later on, make us pay for it when it's already done. Just give us everything and say, okay, boom, here it is. And it's 500 hours long for everything. Once again, I don't see everyone doing everything. So for the ones that don't want to do everything, then there's still the direct route where you can play your single ending and call it quits. That's fine. But then what about people that want to do like the multiple runs, want to see like multiple endings, want to look under every single rock? Then we have enough content there to keep us happy for some time. So I still see that as a good thing. I mean, if we apply this to stuff like GTA, like GTA, you can get like through the story mode in 20 hours or so, give or take. Like if you like do the usual amount of killing sprees and just nonsense stuff, that's fine. But then if you want to go through and do all the side quest stuff, all the random taxi missions you can do, collect all the UFO things, see that stuff, or do all these achievements, then yeah, there's a lot of health content. Exactly, like the stupid amount of content there for you to do. I'm talking only about the single player here, not the online stuff.
Yeah, so there's still take forever,
Yeah, so there's still like a healthy amount of content for you to do, but you don't have to do it all. And I think that's one of the things that was maybe lost when people started to talk about it, because I see it as it's 500 for everything possible. Like it's 500 hours for just everything, like leave no stone unturned. That's 500 hours. To me, I'm like, cool, that's fine. But if you still want to have like your single player thing where you simply just blast through the game, call it quits, and that's it, then that's fine, Like again, I'm pretty sure that won't be more than 15 hours, 20 hours or something, if you just want the content, mess around for a bit, and call it quits.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. It just like literally took every single variable possible just to get the, to inflate the perceived play time, because you're right, like you cannot, even if you get the platinum, you're still not seeing 100% of the game, right? But I think, he literally just took every single variable possible and threw it in there,
And even then, they could have like inflated it.
They could have too.
By just not calculating it in like the most reasonable way. So again, as I think it was Carlos said, like if the game, or Tony said, like if the game has like 5 endings and each one takes like 100 hours, then you say, okay, one ending is 100 hours, so times that by 5, you get 500.
Yeah.
That's what not I think. Really true, because again, like if you've like played the game more than once, you know that second time round is always faster, because again, you know what's going to happen. You know the controls better. You know what's going to happen better. You know what the objectives will be, and you know faster ways of doing it. So each playthrough gets slightly faster. So whether or not they accounted for that when they looked at multiple endings, I don't know. I highly doubt that. So. Yeah, again, it all depends on how they calculated it. We have no idea.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man. Good conversation there. Let's move on to the next question here. Also from Assyrian Air Force. Okay, what do you all make of IGN's top 100 games of all time list? I feel it catered to one company over others when certain games didn't make it. Also, with the Throwdown crew ever collaborate to create 100 games list of all time? Let's answer this second part first. No,
because
we can't agree. Well, this is why we never have a top 10 games of the year, because we can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we know what number 1 is.
Depends on the year, though.
No, it's Metal Gear 3.
Yeah, for me,
because there's two people in the panel that are for sure going to vote for it.
Yeah,
and the rest is probably going to be different.
Yeah, no, you're right. You see, but that proves the point. We can never really get it to a consensus here. So no, that's not going to happen. Plus, and this is true of IGN's thing. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Yeah. That's the thing. It's like the question is like specifically about IGN. I didn't see it. I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really. I mean, granted, I guess it's because it's IGN and people are giving it attention, but I've never cared about what IGN thinks is the top 10
or any publication. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's a waste of time, and I don't understand why people give so much credence to that type of stuff.
Well,
I didn't.
You know what the deal is. It's because it's them. Because it is them, and they're a well-known publication, and that's why people give it any sort of credence. Like it's the end all be all of whatever it's supposed to be, but it really isn't.
Yeah, I'm looking at their top 10. There is no JRPG in their top 10. Yeah, they're disqualified.
But again, by the way, who gives a shit? It could all be JRPGs. Who cares? No
JRPG in their top 20 either.
That's the same thing I have. That's the same issue that I sort of have with the Game Awards. The Game Awards are very Western centric. They barely put any of the any games that are outside of the United States, with the exception of the top tier, the higher ones. There's so many games that get released in the end, and a lot of them people have played here. Don't they deserve some sort of chance to get on there? No. It's like It's like the Academy Awards when they have their international section, but yet every so often an international movie somehow makes it over to the main category. How does that even work?
Had to get to number 24 to get to a JRPG. By the way, Who asked the question? Was it Mopheads?
Who asked the question? Assyrian Air Force.
Oh, Assyrian Air Force. Yeah, I'm guessing he's assuming that this thing is heavily skewed towards Nintendo.
What was number one by any chance? Is it Breath of the Wild?
Of course.
Why am I not surprised?
No, Breath of the Wild is number 5.
Oh, really? Oh, what's number one then?
What list am I looking at?
Super Mario World. Unless this is an old list.
This is posted in 31st of December 2021.
Yeah, we're looking at the latest one, Brian.
Top 100 video games of all time.
No.
I'll link it in the.
What are you looking at? I'm not surprised by Zelda. That's the industry darling.
Well, it's not only that. Zelda's like they're twice in the top 5.
In the top 5.
Or let me go back.
Yeah.
It's number 4, Link to the Past, which should be there, and then Breath of the Wild is number 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Super Mario World is number 2. Super Metroid is number 5. Super Mario 64 is number 7. Super Mario Bros. 3 is number 11. So it's Nintendo. It's Nintendo heavy. I mean, and a lot of those are deserving, but
who cares? I don't know. Again, people give too much credence to that type of stuff.
Yeah,
and I think to be honest, it's also very let's see, 90s centric. If we're talking about all-time games, this also means games should come from earlier on, but perhaps a lot of the people that are even creating this top 100 list weren't even born when a lot of these games have even existed or even played them.
Well, today's IGN for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said 90s heavy. Yeah, you know why, right? Because they were playing these games in the late 90s when they were kids, or early 2000s. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if Throwdown ever did one, we won't. It's like we'd have a ton of 80s games in there as well,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, these lists are so stupid, And it's not a dig at IGN, it's just any of these publications. Even if we did one, it'd be stupid too. It doesn't fucking matter,
I mean, if I do one, it's definitely the definitive.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild will obviously be on the top of that list.
I won't even have it in my top 100. I'll tell you that.
It might be 100. It might make 100, or But yeah, everyone's gonna have their own set different lists. It's not gonna. Nothing's ever gonna align with anything, especially with what's it called, today's IGN. Because if IGN did a list today, with the staff that they have today, it'll be different than the staff they had 5 years ago. Than the staff that'll be 10 years ago.
It'll be different when the actual founders of IGN were actually doing it, because none of those guys are even at IGN. I think they all sold off their.
They're probably not even in the industry, you know.
Nah, I don't think there are.
Yeah, so a lot of different generations, and this generation's IGN's list.
Yeah. All right.
Just you know that picture of all those guys doing those like, you know, like that meme. That's those guys. Those are the founders of IGN. So, yeah, it's from like, what was it, like from not E3, from E3. So yeah, I don't even think any of those guys even work at IGN anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going through like the list, and it just seems like, again, as you guys said, it's very current stuff. Like I'm trying to find games that were like PS1 and before, and apart from like Super Mario 64, I don't think
Symphony
there
is. Of the Night. Oh yeah, Super Mario 64 was 97, I think.
Like, I don't think there's anything prior to the 90s on this. Maybe Tetris. I think I've seen that somewhere, but that's like the only thing.
Well, that's because the game's been re-released like 50 million times. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels weird just reading it. Again, I don't know which Doom they put on there, because but I'm guessing the first one. But even then,
I feel like the list is things they actually agree on and things that they feel that they should put on there.
Yep.
And I think Tetris is one of those ones where it's a one that they feel that they should acknowledge it, but it's not even in like the top 10.
Well, Manny, what you just said, think of the next, not Tetris, but the next thing that like would be another consensus one, but it's not there.
Metal Gear?
No, it's like one of those pioneering games that would change the industry.
Mm-hmm.
That like Pong is not there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Pong's not in there. But again, probably most of these people who are there have never played Pong before.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this bullshit anymore.
Yeah,
again, I'm honest about it. I don't care about this stuff.
Oh, The Witness is here? Yeah, fuck this list. All right, let's move on.
All right,
Witness. Man. It's such a mind-bending game.
To be fair, Tony, Titanfall 2 is there.
Okay, good for them, you know.
Adam would be happy.
Yeah.
But they don't got my Rockstar table tennis.
That or live beach volleyball ain't on that bitch, man.
That doesn't change it. They don't think that changed the industry.
Yeah. All right. Subgator, what's going on, brother?
Mr. Gator.
All right, man. Move on. Next question. What is this? Who is this asking a question? Romu Death? Who that?
Mr. Romulan.
Mr. Romulan. All right. The question is, okay. Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda went on Twitter to explain what NFTs could be implemented in games, and got destroyed by game developers for his take. Should musicians tell game developers how NFTs work?
No, because they don't know fucking about technology. He's just some asshole who stands on a stage.
Let me read what this man said. So he goes, so here's something people aren't explaining. NFTs don't have to be JPEGs. This is where it gets good. Imagine taking your favorite skin from Valorant and using it in Fortnite and not paying extra because you own it, then using it in Call of Duty, Minecraft, and even Twitter or Instagram. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works, man. Especially when it comes to fucking IP. Every single video game studio would have to implement the same fucking graphic into every single game. Idiot.
I'm gonna read this tweet. This is from Rami Ismail, game developer. He goes, Mike, I respect your work a ton, but to a game developer, this is like saying you can buy a single note from my music and use it to control the space station. It is not how it works. Interoperability barely works in one game series made by one developer. It's true. It barely works. Yeah, go ahead.
Kate Antonio is like, Yamero.
Yeah. Let's see. This is something. I'm reading some of this. This is my friend Richard Lawler from Verge. It's really interesting watching how proponents of NFTs describe buying in-game skins in ways that make it very clear they don't play these games, have never purchased a cosmetic, and haven't even asked the people who make those games why these things are the way they are. Another good point. You know.
Yeah, and also again, when we're talking about IP and all of that stuff, what would Nintendo want you to be using a fucking Xbox skin on their game?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. I want to read this other. Yeah, I want to read this other one from my boy Mike Williams. He goes, "I can't even buy the Transformers games or Deadpool on PC, and y'all want to talk about NFT skins and items? Cross-platform saves barely work for the same game from the same publisher, and folks are trying to act like Call of Duty gun will work in Mario."
Yep. Well, what was he from Linkin Park? He's from Linkin Park, right?
He's the other singer. He's the rapper.
Oh, so he's not the one that goes, "I tried to."
No, rest in peace. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah,
you know,
he's not that guy, right?
Chester.
Okay.
Yeah, Chester passed away. Not him.
I don't know any of these guys.
Yeah, I never cared for that band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also what people need to realize about this whole thing is, like you guys mentioned, it's like there are different platforms on different games, different franchise, different companies. So we barely have crossplay for the same game
or cross saves, you know,
or cross saves,
yeah.
And also, I think what people sometimes don't realize when they discuss this whole stuff with NFTs is the fact that the name is non-fungible, which means that there's only one of each, of whatever item. So it's not like, hey, I'm gonna get a Mario hat. It's like, oh, so there can only be one guy with a Mario hat ever.
Yes.
Nintendo's not going to do that. They're going to try to sell as many hats as possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
They're not gonna put in the work to make different variations of all that of the hats.
Yeah. I'm laughing at what Bob hits just said.
Oh,
he goes, Mike Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda. Well, the younger kids won't understand that reference. Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, this dude just clowned himself. You know.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, seriously? I mean, you ever notice that it's a lot of people in the music industry have been trying to get into this NFT shit? Like Snoop Dogg and all these guys. They don't even know what the fuck they're getting into, man. All they're doing is...
Yeah. No, I really think I just imagine a board meeting, right? You know, a bunch of executives like, hey, NFTs are hot. What are they? I don't know, but buy them. You know? Like, they don't know.
Throw some money at it.
Now, have you heard the latest one? So there's this chick for some reality show, I guess. I'm not kidding, she was selling her farts in a jar, right? Turns out that forcing farts is not good for you. So she ended up in the hospital for like a heart condition. Now she's going to convert from selling farts in a jar to selling fart NFTs. I am not making this up.
Okay. I feel like sometimes we're in like a weird alternate reality where people are just stupid.
So we're in the darkest timeline, 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or Idiocracy just came true.
Yeah, Idiocracy came true. You could totally see that like as one of the things that they sell on their things. Like, I sell my farts in a jar.
Oh man,
my ass.
That movie used to be a comedy.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah, now it became a documentary. You know. All right, man.
Well, I mean, we came from times where, you know, parents willingly let their kids be sacrificed for their gods, and now we're buying fake farts online. So it's progress of a kind, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. You can see it that way. Oh my God! All right, man. Let's move on here. Tumeke joining us also. He goes, "Happy New Year! Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to everybody."
Happy New Year!
All right, first question here. What are the top 3 games you're looking forward to in 2022, confirmed or at least indicated for release? So nothing crazy, you know. Final Fantasy 16 ain't going to be on there. Oh, man. We're probably going to get a Final Fantasy 16 NFT, though, you know.
Yeah, we'll get that faster.
Let's see, off the top of my head, Horizon, right, for Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, and Elden Ring. Those are my 3. What about you, Carlos? Since you, said.
Well, man, I'm kind of. I want to say because you left out one, Tony, but I'm not looking forward to it as much as I would have in the past. I don't know if you know what game I'm talking about.
I actually don't. the games, the 3 games I listed are the only ones I know are coming out this year. I don't know what else is coming.
It's.
I don't know.
I guess
it's coming.
I guess it was announced for this year, but I don't think it's going to come out this year. But that's God of War.
Oh, Ragnarok. I mean, that is on there, but they said it's coming out this year. You know, we got a trailer.
Yeah. So. So I'll mention the 2 that are for sure are given, and that's Horizon Forbidden West and Starfield.
There you go.
Those are the 2 that I'm most looking forward to. The 2 that they're on the fence.
Supposed to be 3 though.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna make an exception. They're a tie for 3rd. And they're for different reasons too. Elden Ring, because that game, I think the reason why I'm looking forward to it is because a lot of people here are going to be playing it, and we might even play it together. We'll probably play it together. So that's part of the cool thing of the Sealy tours and all that.
No, you're not going to get no Sealy tours. It's going to be the first time for him too.
Well,
no.
Check this out.
Sealy tours start immediately. We go hard from the beginning.
Well, that too. But think about this. After the first weekend, I'll play like 5 hours of it. Chris will be done with the game.
That is true.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. And
Chris will be done with that, and I'll be neck deep in lore.
Well, and also the discussions that'll go on in the show. We'll be talking about it, and most of us are going to be playing it, so it's going to be cool. So I'm really looking forward to that more than the actual game itself, really. But that and God of War, God of War, it's just another God of War game. But
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it more for the story, just to see where it's going to leave off, and hopefully it gets better than the last game. But yeah.
Yeah, real quick, Mob Hits goes, don't forget about Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, I'm going to be waiting for that just like deep down,
Oh, yeah.
All right, Brett, what about you? 3 games that you're looking forward to this year?
Hold on, I need a sandwich.
Oh, what kind of sandwich?
You may eat your sandwich.
I got a grilled fried mac and cheese burger.
Interesting.
Is it homemade?
No. The place delivers it. It's called the Mac Daddy. It's fucking
man. I like that name.
Big bacon cheeseburger with a fried mac and cheese patty on top. It's fucking delicious. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, mac and cheese patty?
Yeah, fried mac and cheese patty.
Oh, gotcha. I get it. Makes sense.
Daddy Mac will make you
jump. All right, go ahead.
So 3 games. Elden Ring, obviously.
Elden who?
Elden Ring, Starfield, because I'm really looking forward to Starfield. Skyrim in space or whatever. I'm curious to see where Bethesda's going and what they're doing. If they're going to kind of stay in a traditional evolution of the things that they've done, or if this is their chance to try and do something new. I'm curious. And Dying Light, man. I had a lot of fun playing Dying Light. Yeah, I love the grappling hook. I love the fact that there's a button there to look behind you that you should never press, but it's still there. I had a great time again. It's some of the most fun I've had playing video games with people outside of Monster Hunter. So
Brett,
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm disappointed in you. You forgot the most important thing that you're looking forward to in Dying Light.
What's that?
The fact that it's 500 hours.
Nah.
Even Brett's not that crazy.
That's going to be a bunch of bullshit content. Here's the thing. I don't care about hours of content. If I really like it, I'll play the same thing over again. I've played all the Dark Souls games like 3 fucking times, man. So here's the thing that gives me repeatable content is if I can do a level and then come back and help somebody else do that level. Right? So I'll play a level 5 times because I'll play Escort. Remember last time I played, I just zip line in and rain down katanas and start fucking things up. I was Santa Batman in that.
All right, good stuff. Brian, what new games are you looking forward to? It's going to be an interesting answer.
Mine's actually not that exciting, unfortunately. Nothing's really grabbing me so far that I can remember. So Dying Light 2 because zombies and pretty much what Brett just said. The fact that, again, I have to reiterate it because I think it's just the best, worst idea. They have a button that lets you look behind you. It makes no sense, but it's the best thing ever, honestly. Dying Light 2, Ghostwire Tokyo because
I forgot about
Ghosts. Everyone does, And sorry, Brett, but Starfield. I want to see what Bethesda can do. I want to see if they can make a game that doesn't fall apart. So it's more morbid curiosity than actually excitement. But if it's good, then again, I like me some space games.
And Brian, we got Game Pass.
Yep, it's on Game Pass day one. So, yeah. I think I have a Game Pass until like 2025 now because of all the stupid ass deals. Well, you know how they are. It's like, hey, get Game Pass for like a third of the price for 6 months. It's like, why the fuck not? Stack that shit up.
All right. Manny, do you have any games you're looking forward to this year?
Not really. Whatever sort of shows up, that catches my interest, but I haven't seen anything that really has sparked any sort of interest. I mean, I'd like to see what's up with Elden Ring, but I'm just a little bit over the night games. I liked the reason why I liked Bloodborne because it wasn't the same old night bullshit that these guys have been doing. So, I mean, it's cool that they have a mount and it's open world.
When you say night, you mean KNIGHT, right? Not night.
Night.
Yeah.
Like a knight. Knights of the Round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sort of over all the knight slowly walking through things and with a slow or fast sword deal.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
Elden Ring. He says he's not hyped for it because he doesn't want to play another medieval type of game.
Yeah,
I thought it was 99.
No, when he said night, that's why I had to correct him. You mean with a K, right?
Yeah, with a night.
Because I knew people weren't going to understand that.
A knight in armor.
Yeah,
another knight in armor game.
Gotcha.
I mean,
what you got against Knight, man? Knight is good. Bloodborne was all Knight.
It's kind of like Tony with Western games, where you're literally, I'm like, I do like knights and sorcery and all that stuff, but I feel like it's just the more of the same with From Software formula.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
I think that's similar to.
I'm similar to Manny with those games, but I really appreciate them for what they are.
Oh yeah, so, it's not something that I really have any interest in really playing, but we'll see. I'm sort of playing this next gaming era, gaming year by year.
One of the things I like about the game is you can, you have the freedom to build elsewise, but it's kind of funny because like even in Dark Souls, you'll be like, clearly the game is telling you have heavy armor, bring your shield up, go slowly, be cautious. And then I come, running around the corner full speed with a spear in one hand, a sword in the other one. Fuck you! So you can kind of, you have the power to undermine and build whatever character you want. You can build a Bloodborne character in any Souls game. But if it's the setting you're talking about...
I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm talking about the aesthetics.
Okay.
I don't, okay, you can make a guy who has a whip chain or whatever, that if as far as I know, you can literally build a Bloodborne character in the last Demon Soul, is it Dark Souls? Dark Souls. In the last Dark Souls game, you could literally build a Bloodborne character. That's cool, but I just am sort of over the aesthetic of night in horrible monster wasteland world. I mean, I would like to see something a little bit. That's why I thought that when they did their samurai sort of ninja game, I'm like, okay, that's cool. We're taking it into a different direction and stuff, and then now we're back to the familiar thing again, except now the world is open-ish.
Well, it's supposed to be that we're going to R.R. Martin's world.
No, it's not. It's just
it doesn't seem like it. I'm okay with that.
No, it's not. All it is just they asked him to fill out the lore, but they probably just had the same stuff. Like, hey, Miyazaki said, I want them instead of them being ashen, they are ...
Leroy.
instead of spirit, they are ... What do you got, George R.R.?
All right, move on here. Next question, also from Dumeke. All right, with the rumored The Last of Us remake coming with what sounds like revamped controls, etc., to be more in line with The Last of Us 2, what other first game in a series would you like to see remade with sequel updates? Interesting question.
Legacy of Kain.
Yeah, the original one, yeah. With Soul Reaver controls, right?
Yeah.
That's a good answer, actually.
But the one thing about it is that like you'd literally have to totally revamp everything about Legacy of Kain to do that. Because remember, the original game was a top-down game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but you can carry the RPG element so much more now.
All right. Anybody else? This is actually a pretty tough question. I don't really have anything in mind. Because they already kind of did it with the first Mass Effect. They kind of made it play a little bit more. Although it would have been nice if they went all the way, if they made like 1 and 2 play like 3, that would have been dope. But that's not going to happen.
Knights of the Old Republic.
I've never played it, so I don't have any input. By the way, Brett, I don't know how you feel about this. Apparently, Knights of the Republic, the remake, is getting the Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's no turn-based whatsoever.
It's fine.
Yeah. So that's a rumor. We don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised either, because people don't like turn-based.
That's what people. People don't. Turn-based is not like general audience friendly.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of any games. So I'm like, I don't know. I gotta say this about The Last of Us. I'm probably gonna get destroyed by The Last of Us people.
Oh yeah.
The second game, again, please feel free to correct me. It didn't feel any different than the first one. Mechanically, it felt the same.
Well, no.
Am I missing something?
Here's one. Remember, you said that the control didn't feel as sluggish as the original one?
It's faster. That's about it.
So there you go.
Yeah. But it's still fundamentally the same,
fundamentally the same, but it's not nearly as sluggish. It's a little bit more. At least from what I've seen, it looks like it's a little more conducive to movement.
Whereas it's faster.
You've literally felt like it almost felt like a Resident Evil game, as slow as those characters were in the original ones.
Yeah, I mean, I know the big difference is, with Abby, you could fucking start punching the shit out of people, But you're right. Yeah, I guess that counts as faster,
Tony.
Yeah.
You're forgetting they will take any reason, any excuse to re-release a Last of Us game.
Yeah, I know. By the way, with that remake, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm done with.
It's just this weird hardcore fan base that loves this pretentious ass bullshit.
Dude,
why does it need a remake?
No,
I don't understand why it even needs a remake, because it's not like it was a game that was so behind the times. If anything, you just take the same old fucking game, do some tweaks, put some fucking ray tracing, and call it a fucking day. Seriously, it doesn't need to be to have a whole remake or reimagining. It works.
I bet you, Manny, that's all they did. They're going to charge you $70 for that shit.
The thing is, we already had a remake for the first game. We don't need another one. We're good. We had a remake already.
It was a remaster.
Yeah, that was a remaster. Whatever.
So, who is buying Last of Us 4 times?
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand the mania for this game, or the franchise in general. I'm like, dude, it's just fucking The Walking Dead, man.
I only needed to play that game once, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I don't need to play any of these games ever again.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, it's not that I hated the original one. I thought it was a very good game. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't need to go back in that world. What's the big deal?
Yeah, it was a very straightforward game. Don't get me wrong. The first game, much better than the second one.
Oh, absolutely. It
is a very straightforward. It's like a movie with a tight plot that knows where it's going. The second one just fucking meanders and gets depressing. But the first one, like, it fills out the characters it needs to fill out. It doesn't have a whole lot of subplot or side quest or anything like that. It's just the Joel and Ellie surviving and then having to make Sophie's choice. It's a brilliantly structured game.
Yeah.
So I do understand. I do understand that it's like, the second one not so much. I think in the second one they were just kind of pulling from The Walking Dead, where they're like, okay, let's have a bunch of overlapping story arcs that are all depressing. Yeah. And it didn't work.
I was thinking about this the other day, Brett. You know what really frustrated me the most about The Last of Us 2? The parts with Ellie and Joel, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm like, why isn't the whole game this? Those parts were fucking awesome. They were great. All of them, right? I'm like, why could I get a whole game of this instead of this fucking Abby bullshit? You know?
Because I hate it when stories go, we skip past a bunch of really cool stuff. Now here's what's going on. Like, tell me the really cool stuff. Honestly, I think that the tone of the series would have gone better if you would have had lived through those middle parts and kind of realized, like, it's one thing to have a scripted, like, oh, I don't like this person because they did something. It's so much more impactful if, like, somebody you beat to death in the first game, like, there's a little girl in the corner, and then later you're like, oh, shit, that was that little girl. Like, make you, the player, do the action that you are now having revenge sought to you against at a later time. You have the ability in this medium to actually do that, put consequence to people's actions on a delayed course, right? Like, and that's what Mass Effect is. That's what we want. So even if it's scripted, you could do that. But then for some reason you're like, nah, a bunch of middle stuff happened. We're gonna do it in flashbacks. Fucking why?
Yeah, and I'm going to bring this up because the game's 3 years old now. Okay, remember Red Dead Redemption 2, right? There's this one guy you beat the shit out of in the beginning of the game, right? He's coughing on you and shit. You beat the fuck out of him. Later on in the game, you find out, wait, that guy that you beat up, that coughed on you, he gave you some fucking syphilis and you're dying. I'm like, oh, shit. I made the choice to beat this dude up. You know, they could have had that. They could have had somebody that Joel, you as Joel killed in the first game, and it's their daughter trying to fuck you up. You would be like, "Oh shit! I remember killing this motherfucker." That would have been cool.
But that would involve them having to think about this stuff in advance. And at no point did you ever see Abby, cowering in the corner. You had the second game essentially tack on some other bullshit and be like, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah, bad storytelling. Anyway, no more about The Last of Us, but anyway, does anybody else have any answers? Brian, you got anything for games that need, like the first game that would benefit from having the controls of the later games?
Not as such, but kind of along the lines of it just deserves a remaster. Infamous 1 and 2, they were really solid games. Give us that.
You already got a remastering engine, so
instead of remastering Blue Point, get on it. There's a beloved franchise there, beloved games that aren't doing much. I'm sure that just imagine how they would look with the Ghost of Tsushima. That's the same guys, right?
Blue Point? No, that's not.
No,
them.
That did
Sucker Punch.
Yeah, they did right? Infamous. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So just imagine Infamous 1 and 2 looking like that. That'd be amazing.
Yes, the Last of Us show is coming out this year. I'm skipping. I don't care. I stopped watching the Walking Dead for a reason. I don't need to be subjecting myself to that stuff. Actually, the timing is kind of bad.
Family show.
Yeah. Watch the show about a fucking viral infection. Right. We need more of that.
Goody.
We need more of that. All right, man. Let's move on. This one is Cade Antonio. Interesting question.
What up?
Can you convince me to get a PS5 this year?
No.
Oof.
No. Why would I need to convince you of anything? Actually, this is twofold. One, nobody anywhere needs to convince you of anything. And second of all, good luck getting a PS5.
You have a better chance of finding a box to the PS5 than an actual PS5.
Yeah.
It's
I think he's right there. Shout out to him. He wants to convince. Dude, I don't have to convince you, man. Oh, here's the thing. I'm glad you're here. This is the question I want to ask you, brother. Do you want to get a PS5?
Oh.
Yeah. Now, we can answer you depending on your answer. But yeah, do you want? Because if you don't want to get a PS5, don't. But if you do,
don't
buy it if you can find it. He goes, I do not. Then don't buy it. Simple. There's your answer. Don't buy it. Simple as that. Don't buy it.
So at no point are we ever here to sell you on any of these sorts of things. It's like if it has all the things that you are looking for, then pick it up. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people are choosing the Xbox route these days. Yeah. If it has, the main thing is, does the thing have all the things that you are really looking for in a game console? and that's the one you should go for. Your buddies are on there. You know, for some people, all your buddies are probably. Some people's buddies are all on there. Like where Adam has essentially rediscovered all of his buddies on Xbox Live.
You remember Julio? Remember Julio, man?
Oh, Manny. Remember Mr. Deeds?
So it's like yeah. What are the pros and the cons? You know, weigh your options. Like as of now, it just looks like we're not going to see a lot of those big cornerstone sort of things, with the exception of unless you're really interested in playing the new God of War or the Forbidden West. But to be honest, you can play both of those on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I've been out of the loop for so long, and I just got I got Dutch, and I started playing old games, and then I got an invite, and then a funny story. My psychologist, he started talking to me about Xbox. His name is Little Nicky, and we just started playing.
Didn't I tell you that Adam is chomping at the bit to be back
on ready.
Xbox?
Yep.
He's ready. He has been ready for the only reason why he even walked away from Xbox is because last generation was just so appalling.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to say because Homeboy is an Xbox, is an Xbox fanboy.
Yeah. By the way,
Microsoft fanboy.
Yeah, he loves Microsoft. And that's the other thing, Cade, it's like, bro, I don't need to convince you to get a PS5 because the only reason I could tell you to get a PS5, they're on PS4. God of War and Horizon. Those are the only reason they're going to be on PS4. You're not missing anything. You do not need a PS5. You don't need any. You don't. I have a PS5. You don't need this fucking thing. You don't. You don't need an Xbox either.
Here's the thing. I can understand the part of it because, I know some people have that because it seems like everybody's like, oh man,
FOMO is called.
Yeah. Everybody else has it, and then you want to
fear of missing out. That's what FOMO means. Yep.
Oh, well, that's a new word to me. I never heard that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm here to teach you, man. Yeah, FOMO, baby.
That sounds like another word.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's not that. No, FOMO is a real word. Manny, it's all capitalized too. FOMO. Yeah, fear of. Even though it should be F small case O M O. That's the AP style. But yeah, fear of missing out. So people, they see it, other people have it. I wanted to. There's nothing there, man. Yeah,
I feel like wait it out. If you want to stay in the ecosystem, wait it out and see what things will show up. That's what I'm doing, man. Like I'm like then again, also I'm not playing as many games as I once did, but I'm looking sort of. What's that cornerstone thing that the list of cornerstone things that you are looking for, and which one of the consoles has that when you want it?
Yeah, see, Kate, you're making our answer very simple for us. He goes. I know about FOMO, but I feel zip for PS5. There's nothing I'm scared of missing out there. Still don't get it.
Yeah, right now. I mean, and just to say this, with the way things are right now, as far as technology, it's looking like we're not going to really see any sort of legitimate next gen games for a little while.
Yeah, it should be. Our boy Malik tweeted this out. Malik Forte, he goes, "Could this possibly be the longest generation because of what's going on?" It might be, man. It might be.
Well, I mean, are they saying the same thing about graphics cards? It's like there's shortages like crazy, but they don't struggle at releasing new ones.
3090 Ti, like, bro, you fucking kidding me right now? But I think that may be. I've read that the 40 series is due to come out later this year, but after that, I think Nvidia needs to just chill. Nobody can get your previous gen shits.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So, now I don't feel as bad about my graphics card being outdated. I'm pretty sure it's going to be holding me out for a little while, because I don't think the game developer is going to be like, oh, let's start making shit for the 50 series or something. That ain't going to happen,
By the way, I will say this. If we can expect shortages to go on for years, I would say, if you can find one, I would say get one if you're interested. If in the future you're going to get one, just for the mere fact that they're almost impossible to find. That's the only reason I would do it.
Talk to Fergus Mills.
Wait, we got our suppliers.
All right, man, that was good. Nice, simple question there. All right, related, Mob Hits, who's also been with us all night.
The mob rules.
He goes, oh, first of all, welcome back, fellas. Here's to another great year for the Throwdown crew. You already know.
Yeah.
And hopefully a great year for the fans, too, man. All right. First question.
And for humanity in general.
For everybody, you know. All right. Will 2022 be the year of PlayStation?
I don't know. Unless they manage to make a shitload of PlayStations and games appear out of fucking nowhere, like Doctor Strange with those freaking portals in the last Spider-Man movie. That shit ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to have a quote unquote year of PlayStation when you can't get a PlayStation 5. You know. So it'll be PS4 games, like we said before. That's not much to celebrate there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to be anybody's year, you know? Maybe I'm being too cynical about it, but I don't see how. Just because you have two big games, or three potentially with Gran Turismo 7, does that really make you the year of? I don't know about that. So, no, you know what? I'm going to give an answer. No, I don't think it will be. I don't think it's going to be the year of any of these companies, you know. I think we're going to have another tepid year just like last one, you know. And I realize a bunch of games are coming out this year, but how many of those are going to get delayed, you know? And how many are you going to have actually time to play, you know, especially if they're all $500 long, you know? So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be the year of PlayStation or any of these companies. But, maybe, you know, that's just my thoughts. What about you guys?
I mean, just looking at the track record from the last couple of years, I don't think it'll be the year of anything.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, like Microsoft, because I know Microsoft has Starfield, but I don't know what else they're gonna have, and PlayStation has God of War, and if that ever comes, but and Horizon, but I don't know. I would bet on the year of no one more than the year of someone.
Yeah, I don't think we're one of those ones where we agree on Throwdown. Like, I don't know. I understand. It's like, yeah, we're a gaming podcast. We should be hyped for games, but I'm sorry, man. There's so little I give a fuck about this year, you know, when it comes to games. I'm like, you know. But we'll see. You know, hopefully something will come around that, you know, hopefully there'll be another Guardians of the Galaxy situation where I came out like, oh, this is fucking great. You know,
what do they call it? You know, an unexpected, you know, high point.
Yeah,
you didn't know you wanted it until you played it.
Yeah. But again, you know, just being honest, no fakery around here, and like some other big popular gaming podcasts. Like, no, bro, I'm not excited. Really, I don't get me wrong. I want to play God of War Ragnarok. I want to play Forbidden West, but I already know what I'm getting with those, you know. Man, I'm pretty sure when I play them, I'll be like, "Oh, that's fucking crazy," you know. But right now, at the moment, like, you know, we'll see, you know. Because again, it is a little bit tough getting hyped for those games when I know they're on PS4. Just keeping it real, you know. If they were PS5 exclusives, then I'd probably be excited, you know. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. Hold on, Mop Hits. Y'all think Hellblade 2 will come out this year? I don't think so. I doubt it.
No, I don't think so either.
I highly doubt it.
I think it'll take a little less time than the original Hellblade took to develop, because that took a good 5 years or so. They've been talking about that one for a while.
This one's been in development for a while too, though. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's coming out this year.
Yeah. What about you guys in the chat? What are you excited about? Give us your
answers. What y'all excited about?
You know, while we move on to the next question. All right. Also from Mob Hits. Right. If you were to make a Star Wars game, who would be the protagonist and antagonist, and what setting would be in? It could be canon and non-canon. Brett, get in here. You're a resident Star Wars guy. If Brett's still around.
I would say make 1313. Fuck that.
That's my answer. Make 1313, man.
Yeah, that look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you play? I mean, I would honestly have you like make your own Jedi, and it's like the whole point of one of the points of Star Wars is choosing dark or light. You know, it's the call of which side of the Force do you fall to, and I think making that the player's choice is a bigger impact than, you know, just saying like you're a Sith.
Personally, you know, the one thing about it, like I that's the one thing that bores me about a lot of the Star Wars content, because it always boils down to Jedi. Like, I personally, I would much rather have a wider range of characters to play rather than, hey, look, be a dark Jedi, I'll be the light Jedi. I'm like, what if I just want to be Han Solo and make the Kessel Run or some shit? Or, be like me, a Mandalorian. To be honest, those guys seem a lot more interesting than those stupid space monks.
Yeah, that's why my answer is like a game like Star Wars. I want to play as a fucking smuggler, or bounty hunter or something. And for the setting, it's Star Wars is all the same, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you can put it on the Blade Runner planet. You can put it on the Dune planet.
Yeah, but no, Brett, this is your chance. I want you to go fucking crazy, with your deep knowledge of Star Wars lore. Yeah.
Revan. If you're gonna choose a character, it should be Revan, which is ironically the character from the first Old Republic game, but he's one of the more iconic characters in the Star Wars universe in that he and Luke Skywalker are the two that can really switch between light and dark side at will. They have full command over both sides of the Force, which is a big deal. You can have gray Jedi and you can have things like that, but there are actually factions of Force users that aren't Jedi. And a lot of times they it's used to make a skill almost supernatural. So you could grow a story with like, oh, you're a Force sensitive individual. Maybe you want to be a bounty hunter. The fact that you can kind of tap into the Force is the reason that you can shoot a missile into the Death Star kind of thing.
Pretty much what Donnie Yen was. He wasn't a Jedi, but he was one with the Force, and the Force was with him. The little thing.
So just because you're Force sensitive, I think it would be cool, not to necessarily pigeonhole you into Jedi. Like maybe you could be a kind of a Jedi bounty hunter or a combo or something like that. But if you're talking like whose story is probably the most important aside from the movies, it's got to be Darth Revan. You could talk about the fall of Mandalore. You could talk about the rise of the old Sith Empire, the Sith uprising, and the establishment of the Rule of Two. But that's almost too. I don't think that's got a wide enough audience for that.
Right.
Yes.
Have I ever told you the story of Plagueis the Wise?
That could be a good one. It could be a good movie tie-in. I know a lot of people are like, I want to know this fucking story. But I think they need to re-retcon. They retcon Revan's story and made it kind of lame. But they should retell Revan's story because it really helps frame dark side, light side in a different fashion.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
I'd go for something like 1313, where you play as like a bounty hunter, and then you can like pseudo pick which side you want to work for, and then you can have it so that because you're a somewhat normal person in the universe, i.e., not a Jedi or has like force powers, you can be like hunted by people like that. That way, you have an actual danger because like these guys can just whip out lightning and pull you, push you, throw laser swords at you and stuff like that. So it's like real danger. Yeah. And then so it kind of becomes like Resident Evil in that aspect, where you're being like hunted down by like the Sith or the Jedi because you're aligned with either side.
When Brian like brought that up, the first thing that came to my mind is like a Star Wars cyberpunk kind of game. Because 1313 kind of is like that type of world. Like the way that they were showing it in that demo.
I find it funny that 3 of us, 3 out of 5 of us said 1313. That shit looks fucking dope, man. It's a shame that never came to fruition.
Wait, who were the 3?
Me, Manny, and Brian. We all said 1313.
Shit.
Yeah.
I thought only Brian and Brett went. Okay, since you guys went, I'll go. I'll do a Watto backstory, origin story. Hey, Annie.
Only money.
Only money. Get the credits.
But Daddy, my drinks don't work on me. Only money.
Actually, maybe I would do a pod racing game.
Well, they already did one of those.
The pod racing game was pretty good.
Well, they already did an Old Republic game. So.
You just want that line. This is pod racing.
This is pod racing. Yeah, I like the N64 pod racing game. It was pretty fun. Yeah, because I don't know. I guess my Brett took probably the best answer. There was some lore kind of stuff that is not canon anymore. That was post the original trilogy. That was pretty interesting, but it got retconned because of the bullshit sequel trilogy. But yeah, anything that's Old Republic time frame. Like I don't really remember all of the stories, but I've had a lot of friends that are super hardcore like Star Wars nerds, and every time they would tell me like those types of stories, like they all sounded pretty interesting. I mean, man, I always we never got it, but I always wanted the trailer, and Brett probably remembers the trailer for the Old Republic MMO from BioWare. Like that first trailer where it's all the Jedis and the Sith are coming. And it's like all out brawl, that kind of stuff. It sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, just don't give us another, Masters of Terrascasi. We don't need another one of those.
And we don't need one where a lot of younglings are dying.
Yeah. They should make a Star Wars game where you just play as that one garbage can robot, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Master Skywalker, they're all over the place. What are we going to do?
Oh, man. A game as Anakin specifically from episode 2. I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Well, the sand, that's called, we'll call it Journey.
Yo. Oh, man. All right. Next question. Bonus question from Mr. Bobitz. We'll allow it because I think we only have one more question for tonight after this one. All right. If Captain N were to make a comeback, what characters would you guys choose as sidekicks? Remember Captain N from back in the day? Who would be more new Nintendo people he could have?
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, they'd actually should put Link in there. They should have literally Captain N should have had Link and Mario in there.
Yeah, that's what it should be,
Yeah, but they got Mega Man, was it Kid Icarus, Simon Belmont, and
two of those guys aren't even Nintendo properties.
No, they're not. They're not even Nintendo properties.
So yeah, I like that answer. Mario and they can get Donkey Kong in there. Why not?
Yeah, Donkey Kong is essentially an actual Captain N, as opposed to the Captain N who essentially he had other franchises.
Yeah, Captain Third Party.
Captain Third Party. Yeah, because most of those characters are third party characters, with the exception of Mother Brain, because they didn't even have Samus in there.
Yeah, what? Okay, make her a sidekick too.
Eggplant Wizard. Yeah. What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah,
I forgot.
All right, anybody else? I'm pretty sure me and Manny are the only guys who saw Captain N.
We're going to be like, what we do to differentiate the franchise? We call it the real Captain N.
The real Captain N. Just like the real Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
All right, man. Good stuff. Last question of the night. Oh, boy. Logic Wins, who's been joining us. He also wishes us a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. How do you each... who do you each believe, quote unquote, won the previous generation? PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, and why? He goes, feel free to use any criteria, hardware sales, which platform you spent the most amount of time on, etc. You know me. You know my metric for judging a console success: the money, the sales, and all that. So the easy answer is PlayStation 4. It sold the most, so that's a winner. Simple as that. By the way, I looked this up because I was like, ooh, did Switch beat PS4 by now? No, it didn't, but it's getting there. The Switch has sold a little over 100 million. PS4 is 116. So that's pretty impressive, Pretty impressive. Well, apparently the Switch already sold more than the Wii. But yeah, that's I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's the only answer. It's PS4. It sold more, And I don't hear any arguments.
There's really no arguments to the contrary. And Switch is not even. I don't even know what gen that thing is.
Yeah, me. I consider that shit like 7th gen, the generation before PS4. If we're talking in terms of hardware. Logic Win, since you're there, I don't know if you want us to answer this a certain way because I'm like, PS4 is a clear winner. There's no debate there, really. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, in all sincerity, I think nobody won that generation. That was
that generation. Like, yeah, looking back at it, that generation was, not that good.
Booty juice.
Yeah, it was like it picked up steam 2017, 2018, then petered out.
Especially
I'd say PC won.
PC. There you go. We're talking about console generation, but sure,
It was the generation a lot of consoles lost their business to PC.
Oh.
Bruh, I will concur.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, PS4. There you go.
Yeah.
Again, it sold the most. That's it. That's all you really need right there,
It came out with the better public opinion, too, by just about every metric it won.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of wish the guys who were running PS4 were also running PS5. That would be nice.
All those guys gone, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
This generation, it's up in the air.
Yeah, we don't know.
Sales metrics because there's limited supply, and public opinion is kind of skewed right now.
Yeah. PS5 is still selling more than Xbox, but not by a lot because, again, you can't find any of these systems, I don't know how the hell PlayStation managed to sell more if there's less. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's so hard to manufacture, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the difference is small in the sense that
it's not that big.
Everything that's been manufactured has been sold. So PlayStation, yes, has been able to manufacture more, but I don't know if you can use that as a metric anymore.
I got something to say about that. This is just in the interest of expanding the time because this is the last question. So, Shaq was he tweeted about or news report, whatever, that he gave away 100 PlayStations to kids, right? PS5s. I'm like, how did he get those? Right? So the only answer, but Shaq can't stop the chip shortage, right?
He can't stop the chip shortage, but he's fucking Shaquille O'Neal. He literally could just call up Sony and be like, hey, can you send me over 100 PlayStations? And they'll be like, fuck yeah, we love you, Shaq.
And that's what I'm getting at. So, because Sony had said every PlayStation 5 we manufacture, we ship out right away. Yet Shaq got these, which leads me to believe that Sony has a bunch in stock, right? So isn't that kind of fucked up?
Did you think Sony was telling the truth to you?
Listen, I have to take my face value, right?
Why? How many times does somebody have to lie to you before you take them at face value?
So do I have to just assume everything's a lie then? Like again, just going off of what they were saying. But Brett, regardless,
you have to be dubious of everything. That's one of the things I just
but again, you both of you guys are missing my point. Sony said this, they did this. So what the fuck's going on here?
Well, no, I mean, he probably bought because he's Shaquille O'Neal. He called them up and said, I want to buy 500 PlayStations, or 100 PlayStations. And they said yes.
So Sony's lying then?
Well, they shipped them out. They shipped it to fucking Shaq.
Yeah. No, I don't think
they ain't lying.
But they are lying because they said every console that comes out of the assembly line immediately gets shipped out.
That is a lie.
Okay, thank you, Brett. That's what I wanted to know. They lied.
Yeah, that is definitely a lie.
The thing about it is that they get shipped out, but they could be sitting in the sitting on the same ship in the middle of the fucking ocean somewhere.
Oh my god, yeah.
Well,
maybe Shaq had access to that. Let me get that ship.
Here's the thing, I think within Sony again within Sony, all Shaq, because he is fucking Shaquille O'Neal. He literally just calls him up and says, "I want 100 PlayStation, and want to give them away to a bunch of kids," and they just gave it to him.
How did they manufacture these with the chip shortage?
They manufactured those shit. They probably did ship it straight from the fucking the fucking factory to fucking Shaquille O'Neal.
That's the only way.
Lying.
Yeah.
So they're not lying. They're shipping them out. They're just going to fucking Shaq.
Yeah, but you see what I'm getting at, right? Because I'm like, hold on, you guys, like Sony, you said this, that you're shipping them all out, and then you just so happen to have 100 in stock.
No, it's not in stock. They shipped it from the factory to him.
Yeah, hold on, Brett. We can hear you. Hold on a second, man. He's doing his thing.
Here's the thing: they shipped it to him. In other words, they didn't ship it over on the the large quantities overseas. They said, "Okay, we got 100 PlayStations. We'll ship them straight from the factory to you."
That's the only way it could work. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. That's how. You ever notice how when you get shipments from other countries, single shipments seem to go faster than store shipments.
I don't know. I don't order from other countries.
I've done it quite a bit, and I've gotten stuff from DHL and a bunch of other things, so a lot quicker than actually getting stuff from legitimate stores, because all local postage is all fucked up and all shipping is fucked up. But I don't mean singles; these other shipments aren't. So that's what they did. They just said, "All right, we'll put it on a plane and send it to you," and they got it.
Yeah. All right, Bray, go ahead.
Cody, you're thinking that when they say they ship them out, that like they make them and then they ship them out to customers or retailers, right? Like
to retailers, especially.
Yeah, yes. They go into the pipeline.
Yeah,
that's not necessarily what they mean. They can literally ship it to anybody, Shaquille O'Neal included, and it still technically be that. So they could either have like hold back production until there's 100 of them, and then send yes, they are technically sending Little Joey's PlayStation to Shaq instead. And Little Joey just gets pushed back up the queue. So yeah, they're shipping out, but that just think of it like what they're actually saying is, as soon as we make them, we sell them. And honestly, they don't care to who. They haven't taken any sort of steps to ensure that there's a queue or a line or that people who really want them.
Well, that's why so many scalpers have them, because they don't care who supplies them. That is a huge issue.
And that's shown. And so when I'm saying this, I'm not being like, tinfoil hat. Like Sony has shown a complete disregard to who buys their consoles as long as they've been sold. So of course they would have no problem saying the next 100 PlayStations, send them to Shaq. Because he can place a big enough order to pretty much be a large chain store by himself.
Yeah, that's right. 100 of them. Yeah, again, that was my main question. I'm like, okay, you have this fucking shortage. How is this happening? It must be that, like, hey, the next 100 go to Shaq. But that's the only way it could work.
Yeah, they took 100 out of the line and they just gave them to Shaq.
Yeah, because under normal circumstances, obviously Sony would have a bunch of them in stock. But
you would think as if you're sitting there waiting for it, you're like, okay, I need this shipment to drop. You'd think that Shaq would go, he'd put in his order, they'd say, okay, we're gonna put you in line after these. We already have these promised out to these retailers and these customers. You'd think they'd put him in line.
No, they wouldn't put him in line. He's Shaquille O'Neal. They're gonna give him priority.
Yeah. Give it to Shaq.
It's amazing. It's all you need to do is just be famous, and then you just get to skip the line.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're gonna give me these PS5s. You're gonna like it.
The PS5s.
I'm Shaquille O'Neal.
So there you go. That's how you remember in the previous question I was talking about getting a PlayStation. Get famous, and then you can get yourself a PlayStation.
Right? Barry Burns says Shaq got him from Soldier Boy.
Nah, Soldier Boy wouldn't sell him a PS5. He'd sell him like a knockoff PS5. The ones that we've been seeing. There's been this goofy knockoff version that's like tiny.
Oh, this is interesting. Mob Hits goes, like I said last year, I'm buying a PlayStation 5 Slim in 2023. I'll be honest, I don't think they're going to make a Slim version this generation. They can't manufacture the regular one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this. When this thing was designed, it was designed at a point where they were just sort of, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a Slim 5.
Yeah. I like, and just for consistency's sake, I did say we will see a Slim, right? That was last year. This year, I don't think so. Like the situation is not getting any better, and it probably won't for a while, Like
I think different on the first point.
Yeah. Again, I'm just saying what analysts are saying, that things are not gonna get better until 2023 with the chip shortage and all that other shit. So
exactly, we're gonna see a 10-year generation on this motherfucker.
Yeah, unfortunately. So the only way Slim will happen, I'm talking about in the current state. No ways that happening. If things get better, then obviously we will see a Slim. But
no. Think about it, right? There's a chip shortage. Materials are hard to come by, and they realize this. And they may run into this again when they launch their next generation. So how do they artificially extend the generation? Well, they release a Slim once sales start to droop, right? Because it's not a time thing. It's reactive to sales. As soon as people start losing interest in the regular PlayStation, boom, they're going to make a Slim. And then when people start losing interest in that, boom, they're going to make a Pro. They're going to try really hard to avoid another generation rollover until they know that they have the supplies to be able to make the hardware. So I foresee this being worst case scenario, this could be a 12-year generation is what I would put my money on.
And Brett, you know me, I'm a stickler for words, right? I have to take I have to call out words you specifically said. artificial, right? I don't think there's anything artificial about this. I think the generation just be elongated just because of the bullshit going on in the world. I don't think it's going to be like, "Ooh, how do we extend this generation longer?" Like, no, it's just going to be 10 years just because it can't be helped, you know?
Well, it's going to be 10 artificially extended in the sense that they're not going to push to advance things while everything's in a standstill. And so they'll basically look and say there's still more money to be milked out of this, because computers are not progressing much slower, right? Like, we're still getting new chipsets, we're still seeing advancements, so we're going to see a widened gulf between computational advancements and where this generation lies. And that's what I mean, they'll artificially kind of extend it.
Okay,
they'll be
gotcha.
like, well, we can kind of still get some more money out of this, even though technically you would think that when it gets this far behind, PC GPUs, that we'd upgrade it. So I think the end of this generation is going to be one of those, like, fucking upgraded already. These graphics look like shit. And it's going to be 10, 12 years, some bullshit like that.
Oh my god, that's going to be terrible. Yeah, because, I mean, these consoles are already getting outdated by the shit that's coming out now, so...
Yeah, but if you think about it, they haven't even started the clock on the lifespan of this generation yet, in terms of sales and, how they're looking at it.
Yeah, because the generation hasn't started yet. If you really think about it, we're still on last gen.
Yeah, but chips are still advancing. So that's what I mean when I say artificially extend, because you usually see PCs or consoles at least kind of trying to keep somewhat on par with a mid-grade to low-grade PC. Once you start getting games that are on PC that you just can't play on a console, that's when things start to get problematic.
Man, imagine if that happens. That'll be crazy.
I'm afraid it will, because, like, you can have, like, they just invented this new chipset. Cool, where is it? Well, they invented one, and now they don't have the stuff to make more. Actually, but there is one.
I'm gonna give you something to kind of prove your point. Cyberpunk should not have been released on last gen, man. Very clear that game couldn't be run on those systems, So we may see more situations like that where a game comes out and everything. It's like, oh, this runs like shit on consoles,
But they want to make the sales, and so they make sure that it can run across all consoles, which means they tamp down the graphics, and that's what I mean by artificially extending.
Yeah. This generation's gonna suck. This generation's gonna be terrible. This one's actually gonna be worse than last.
I'm trying not to be a naysayer about it. Yeah, I'm trying to be a naysayer about it, but man, it is not off to a good fucking start.
Yeah. But again, what do we do on Throwdown, man? We keep it real around here, and we can't give you a positive outlook when things look this fucking grim,
We're not like the crystal ball. Outlook looks good, or something like that.
So yeah,
the 8-ball, right?
Yeah. So Brett, I don't think you're being negative. I think you're being realistic as fuck right now, dude.
I mean, you keeping it real, Brett.
Keeping it real up in the field, right?
Real.
Well, I think he's being negatively realistic.
Negatively, you gotta explain that one. Is there? By the way, is there a thing as positively realistic?
Yeah, I mean, there's out of all the realistic outcomes, we can positively say that this will be a better generation than last generation. But negatively speaking, or negative realistically, would be like this is gonna get it can't get any better. We're all in shit. This last generation was crap, and we're following the same suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, what are we like 2 years into? No. Hold on, how long is it? Fucking Rona's messed everything up.
1 year and a few months.
Okay, and this generation's been fucking a trash heap, So I'm hoping it gets better, but it's like I don't know, man. And then last gen was pretty bad too. The tail end of it specifically. It's like, bro, what are we doing here? I don't know. I wish we could give you some
billion-hour Assassin's Creed games.
Oh yeah, let's go. Oh God. Killed me. Can't do this.
In this day and age of being able to communicate in so many ways, that there'd be somehow that we could, transfer our wishes to the game developers. Just say, we want this. Because they don't really seem to have a very firm grasp on the things that gamers are super excited about right now.
I don't even think gamers know what they're excited about, to be fair, Anyway, that's a topic for another day. All right, we're done. Good episode. I enjoyed this very much. Again, no Adam and Chris action. They were both out because they're parents. You know, like they get tired, man. They get tired. You know. Oh God, blockchain. That's gonna fuck everything up with gaming too. NFTs. This is gonna be a great generation.
This whole fucking game to what is it?
Oh, game to earn. Game to
earn. And some people want to be able to give back, and we want to create an avenue for them. Like, no, nobody wants to work for you for free, asshole.
Oh my God, stop it! Stop it now. Ugh.
But you'll get exposure.
Yeah, you get exposure. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's start wrapping things up here. Manny, do you have anything to plug?
No, not right now. It's the beginning of the year. It's all things I can't talk about or anything like that. But I'll keep you in tune.
There you go. Looking. By the way, you are actually looking crisper on that camera. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. You know,
it runs really good.
Yeah. The Nuke. Go watch Walking Dead or whatever. What's it? I'm Negan Spotify.
I'm Negan. There you go.
I'm Negan on Spotify.
Doing I Am Negan Spotify. The Nuke. And I have to do my roadie runs. I gotta watch my Walking Dead. You can watch it on I Am Negan podcast on thecoalition.com. That's the Coalition with a K. Where Adam Vale hosts and Richard Bailey Jr. joins, as well as myself. And it's a great podcast where we talk about everything Walking Dead, the world beyond, the Fear of the Walking Dead, and the Walking Dead proper, which should come back late February. And yeah, make sure to stay tuned. I Am Negan. It's on Spotify. It's on all the podcasting platforms, or on thecoalition.com.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys saw me doing a face right now, it's what Mob Hits just said.
Oh.
And I wish it was fake. He goes, Samsung is bringing out their TV sets that are NFT ready. I am not making that up. Like, why?
How does that
so you get this? Yeah, it's like so you get to display your NFT on your television. I don't fucking know, but it's a real thing. We reported on it. I'll link you to it.
Also, it runs JPEGs.
Yeah, you can put it on TV.
Don't TVs already display JPEGs?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what they're doing is they're sticking a pin in it because it's a word that's trending these days. So they're like, hey, it runs your NFTs. Yes, it does run your NFTs. It runs anything, as long as you have it on a pen drive.
Yeah. Yo, but is it that code though? Is it a unique code?
Yeah, it does have it.
I swear, it's like these people have never heard of art prints.
Oh my God. But can it play MIDI files?
Oh, yeah, there was a point in time where I did collect MIDI because I was fascinated by them.
Yeah. Logic Wingos, I think Thanos snapped us without us realizing it. It may be we're all in hell right now,
What was that world that they ended up in? That red world, the death world that
Yeah, maybe we're there.
Yeah.
We got the Rona and all this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced, man, because life is like a satire of itself, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap it up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter, and join the Discord where Mob Hits is always dropping the hottest rumors and speculations. You could also find Throwdown on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. 2 words, Throwdown Show. Visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you are on YouTube and you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when new episodes go up. For you guys, for YouTube guys, it's Monday and Friday nights. Yeah, for Friday and Monday nights in that order. But that's it. So, links for everything down below in case you forget. Even on Twitch right now, if you're watching it live, just scroll down a little. All the links. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys. Also, check out the El Gato face cam.
Yeah.
Not a plug.
I wish. Carlos Romero.
Hey, take care, everyone. The Nuke.
Brett Murdoch.
It's been real, people.
And Brian Manjoma.
when you reach that odd point when you realize that Peter Parker uses the Daily Bugle as his OnlyFans.
Yep.
He does.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. Mind blown. All right, people. We will see you on the flip side. Later.
Peace.